Hey everyone, it's Cold as Cocoa. Welcome to my true crime series. This week we're focusing on 5 naughty women in prison. Let's dive right in with part 1 of this episode. Our first naughty lady actually started out in prison, but for a much different reason. Brittany Hall was a former CO for Chicago's Metropolitan Corrections Center. But in 2024, she was accused of SAing 4 inmates while working as a guard on Unit 12. She resigned from her position last year. On March 6th of this year, 2025, Brittany pled not guilty to the charges. Among those whom Hall allegedly assaulted was the suitcase killer, Heather Mack.
Who's Heather Mack?
I was hoping you'd ask. Heather's story is actually pretty wild. She was born and raised in Illinois, and she was accused of being an accomplice in her mother's murder. Now, Heather always had a tumultuous relationship with her mother. Police were called to the residence 86 times, starting when Heather was as young as 9 years old. Now, Heather has acted violently against her mother in the past, punching her in her broken ankle and even biting her. Things continued to get worse when her father died when she was just 16 years old. Perhaps to fill the void of her missing father, she began a relationship with Tommy Schaefer, her boyfriend and accomplice in the murder. The relationship started when Heather was a senior at Oak Park High School. Tommy, however, was an older unemployed rapper going by the moniker Tommy EXX. As you can imagine, Heather's mother disapproved of the relationship and even moved the family to Chicago to get away from Tommy. Allegedly, Heather had already aborted 2 of Tommy's children, and her mother was seeking power of attorney with hopes of enforcing a 3rd abortion. Still uncertain as to whether Heather was actually pregnant, her mother Sheila booked a trip to Bali while waiting for the results. By the time the family arrived in Bali, Heather has officially had enough. In August 2014, they arrive on a first-class flight. Then, Heather steals her mother's credit card and books a business flight for her boyfriend, Tommy. Tommy arrives, and that's when things go sour. On the evening of August 7, 2014, he was caught on security camera in the lobby of the St. Regis Hotel where the women were staying. Tommy is seen having an argument with Sheila and striking her in the head with a metallic object. Afterwards, Heather helped to dispose of the body, placing Sheila in a suitcase. Like the young adults they are, they make the childish mistake of placing the suitcase in a cab outside of the hotel. After being confronted by the police, the couple claimed that Sheila was attacked by robbers, but they were able to escape. Of course, absolutely nobody is buying that, so they eventually confess. Tommy claims that he killed Sheila after she threatened to kill their unborn child. He also claims that Sheila was the one who choked him first. Both Tommy and Heather are charged with premeditated murder, and Heather ends up giving birth to their daughter in a Bali prison. For his role in the crime, Tommy was sentenced to 9 years in prison in June 2017. Heather was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Now, even though she served 7 years in a Bali prison, it wasn't credited as time served. Not in the U.S., honey. And in 2021, she was arrested on federal charges, and she's currently incarcerated in Chicago's MCC prison. Heather Mack was 19 at the time of the crime. She's currently 29. Her boyfriend, Tommy Schaefer, was 21. He's currently 32. And the victim, Sheila Von Wies Mack, was 62 at the time of her death. Follow for part 2.